Hey, what's up? We are live. Actually, I got a clip here. This is a relevant clip. I like this clip.
Are you looking forward to watching a Han Solo movie as a fan?
Not really.
Had to get that Price is Right sound effect in there. Even though Red Letter
63
Media
actually
is
pretty high.
Yeah, I thought about that. It's not that bad. Here's another version of it.
As Han's story came to an end in Force Awakens, how did you feel about the ending? Did you feel good about the ending? Do you like the way his story ended up? Did you see that as Han's ending?
Fake it.
He's made it very, very clear he doesn't give a shit. He does not like the Han Solo character and does not give a shit about Star Wars. It's almost kind of.
Well, what does he want to be identified with? Fucking.
Indiana Jones. He's always liked.
Oh yeah.
That's why he was very like tearful at Cannes for Indiana Jones.
But he's the star of that shit. You know, he's just another big part in Star Wars, so I could see why.
Oh, you're what's this image you got for your thumbnail here? John Lovitz Jr.
I was trying to get a picture of John Lovitz that looked weird, but I kept this guy showed up on the suggestions, so I thought maybe that's his son.
You should that would be a good AI prompt to tell them to generate an image of John Lovitz's son. I bet you they'd have a good prompt for that.
I looked for it. I didn't see anything. And this didn't even come up on the son search. This came up on John Lovitz's search.
Well, that's what you'd want, right? So that is maybe that is John Lovitz's son.
No, I don't think so because it didn't come up. I searched for his son and it didn't. I couldn't find anything. And then I was looking through pictures of him that I was looking for a weird one, and then this guy showed up for some reason.
Oh yeah, so let's acknowledge my thumbnail here. I've been putting in these chat bubbles, curse words. You got Bob Iger, you got Mickey Mouse, you got stuff about Miss Marvel tweet, and then you got this retarded looking Little Mermaid here, which we'll get into that. That's coming out this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. They can pad the box office with the other day, the Monday. They can pad it. Smart move. That's what you want to do. Are you going to? Do you got your tickets or anything for Little Mermaid?
No, I hope it does well because there's not enough live action Disney movies coming out, really.
Yeah, there needs to be more, right? They can't just
what
do.
Do you think is next? Probably Song of the South, I think.
Yeah, I think they might avoid that one. They swept that one under the rug. There's a few movies they've swept under the rug. That is one. I mean, they did Pinocchio, they did Mulan, they did Cinderella with Maleficent, they did Peter Pan, they did Aladdin.
Wait, who was Cinderella?
I don't know who Cinderella was, but they did Maleficent. That was Cinderella was one of those those two sisters. Elle Fanning was Cinderella.
Yeah, but it wasn't Cinderella. That was that Angelina Jolie fucking shit.
Yeah, she's like the bad person, Maleficent. So they did it.
I'm talking straight up reboot, Beauty and the Beast.
They did do Cinderella. They did that in 2015. It was Lily James who played Cinderella, and Richard Madden, the one Stark, the older Stark brother was Prince. They've done it all. I guess you know what's next on the list. I guess it's Snow White, right? I don't think they've done Snow White.
The last Snow White thing I saw was that.
All right, you got Bambi, you got Snow White, you got Hercules. Guess probably
get, the Thor guy.
I don't think he wants to do that anymore. But yeah, I guess that's their options.
Oh wait, no, he's actually in that Snow White movie with the bitch from Twilight.
Yeah, I mean,
Kristen
they've
Stewart.
done it all.
I don't think that's Disney though.
Shit. They did Cruella, of course, with Emma Stone. Weird casting on that. Little Mermaid, we know about that. That's gonna be coming out. They did the Pinocchio with that pedo Tom Hanks. Peter Pan. They endlessly remake that.
Yeah, you're right. I think Snow White's next.
So I think Snow White is on the list. I mean, do you get the question is, do you get Peter Dinklage for one of the dwarfs?
Oh,
do you think he would? I know he said he would never do that, like take a dwarf role. But when they, pull up to his house with a boatload of cash, what does he say?
Well,
That's the question
what's up
there.
with this Jonathan Majors update?
That's a good question. Let's switch over to Jonathan Majors.
Oh,
okay.
So they're making a Loki movie.
They have a Loki TV show. This is going to be on his second season, and I know he's in it
already.
He's in the first season, so I guess
had a stretch where he was in every single movie that came out. It was crazy.
Yeah, you know what? Kind of sucks because you never know if this is bullshit or not with his domestic abuse. But either way, fucking let him be the fucking character. Who gives a shit? If this was the 80s, no one would give a shit what the fuck his personal life is like. Just have a movie. Who cares? But you know what? The guy
got away with a bunch of stuff back then. Nobody really.
Oh yeah.
Seemed to give.
The main thing here is that $8.99 burrito bowl from Moe's, right? That ain't a bad deal.
Is Moe's around here? I've never seen a single one.
Oh, dude, there's tons of Moe's by me at least. I don't know about you, but Moe's is around here.
I don't really see any.
What do you got? You got Bubba
Bubba Yeah, Bubba is instead.
My only issue with Bubba is that they put tons of cilantro on it, and I'm not a fan of cilantro.
You can't order without it?
No, if you get seasoned rice, all their rice has cilantro in it.
Yeah, no, I can't fuck with cilantro. It tastes. I got the dish soap gene.
Same here. I do too. It tastes like dish soap to me. I can't do it.
Yeah, I got Pad Thai a couple days ago, and I didn't know that was like gonna be on it. They didn't list it in like the ingredients.
Oh wow!
When you're ordering it,
I wouldn't think Asian food would do cilantro. I didn't know that.
I didn't know they didn't do it. There's certain cultures that don't use it.
Yeah, I mean most cultures don't use it. It's kind of a Mexican and more of kind of like a North African spice. I know Moroccan food uses a lot of cumin and cilantro.
Yeah, but I'd say like 90% of whatever Mexican Spanish stuff I've ordered, it's like customary to have on it. And I always request that it's not.
Yeah, and then they always just mix it in anyway. That's the thing. That's my issue with a lot of Mexican food.
The thing is, like, a couple places told me it's like just mixed in, and then I just didn't order from there.
Yeah, that's what I'll do too. That's my problem with Bubba
It's just lazy.
I have to like never get the rice.
Why? Like,
want the rice?
I think everyone just wants that shit,
Yeah, especially with how there is a % of people who have the soap taste to it. I would think they'd be like, okay, we can make it without it.
Like, to me, it's like a condiment, or something or I guess like chives or something or whatever. Just like it feels lazy to dump it on a bunch of shit at the end, like you're covering up for it just tasting like crap to begin with.
I don't know, man. I think for the people who don't have that gene where it tastes like that, they like it. I mean, we don't know. We don't know what it actually tastes like.
They must, because they assume everyone wants it. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's like we don't have the knowledge of the taste of what it actually is. But what I've tasted, I don't like. All right. So my first topic here is
cilantro.
Well, no, it's Indiana Jones, but in a way that's like cilantro. You got a bad taste in your mouth. That's how I have with Indiana Jones 5. right now it's the lowest rated movie of the franchise, worse than the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, but everyone saw that. They're already like just projecting it's going to be terrible without any. What are they going off of, a trailer?
Yeah, no, I mean people saw it at Cannes, so or
Oh
yeah,
well, that's not for them. Those are all like art douchebags and stuff.
no, yeah, it's but you know what though they had a standing ovation for 10 minutes for Top Gun, so they like that one.
I don't know. They're just
So what do you start? It makes you question, like, yeah, I know they're usually like art douchebags, but they like Top Gun.
maybe because they
So
knew it would make a shitload of money. This is good for everyone involved.
I mean, everyone I've heard from that movie is it's one of the better movies of the past couple of years.
Yeah, but the
I've not
people
checked it out.
the people that were telling me that were like not people I really trusted their opinions much.
I'll say everyone I've actually heard about it, I do trust their opinions. It's all been people who like good stuff have had positive views about Top Gun.
Why did they go see to begin with?
I mean, I think it's a liked franchise. The first movie people like, and
I just thought it was like a nostalgia grab, and Tom Cruise needs something to do.
well, I think it's one of those movies. It's an action movie, so it attracts the audience just for that. But then people who actually saw it were like, "Oh, wow, this was actually like transcended the action genre."
Well, that's what
That's all I've
about.
heard.
Like, I vaguely remember seeing the first Top Gun. I feel like there were like 5 minutes of anything happening other than it being like just a like a drama or romantic. No, it's not a romantic comedy. Like I don't know. It was like the action in it felt like 5% of the film.
I can't. I've never seen it.
And
I've
what they
never seen
even
the first
doing?
Top
Like
Gun.
they're not even fighting people in like a war. They're just flying around in the air with nobody, or like
I don't
like
know. All I can say is I have no context
they're
of
not
Top
like
Gun. I've never seen it.
fighting people. They're just doing simulations against nothing. And then there's like one moment in the film at the end where it turns out it's like something real, And even then, I don't remember what the fuck happened. I don't remember how or why Goose died. I don't
Hmm.
know. So
I know in this movie, I think the villains are North Korean, so they make it a little more relevant.
okay, good. Yeah, they got they up. Well, I don't know what they were in the original. They're probably
I think they're Russian, right? Probably
I don't
80s,
know. It could
probably
have
Russian.
been something. What war was going on around that time? Was it like Gulf War or some shit? Or
Had the
Desert Storm?
little that's a little later. They had the Cold War going for sure around then.
No, it's in the 80s. I thought they were done
Yeah.
with that.
No.
Oh yeah, you're
No,
right.
man.
Because there's that Red Dawn shit.
Berlin Wall was 89. That's when that all kind of went down. So that's kind of the end of the USSR. So yeah. The first Top Gun was what? What year was that? That's I want to say 86. Just off the top of my
Okay, so yeah,
mind.
that's like right
Yes,
in the middle.
86 is right. 86 is right. That's some good memory, but that's some Jeopardy shit right there. Um,
Yeah, it's rare Jeopardy has like just an all movie column. Whenever it does,
have you watched the Masters couple series that have gone on lately? It's been really good. Probably the
What?
best things that they've done in Jeopardy.
Golf? Oh, you mean the tournament of
No,
champions?
the Jeopardy Masters. It's not the Tournament of Champions. It's they have all like the good people on. It's not Tournament Champions. It's kind of like it, but
Well,
it's
that's the
mostly
same
just
thing. They get people who dominated before and they
yeah.
put them against each other.
Mixaplex says Indiana Jones was always the Nazis. It's true. That was always the big
No,
pull.
it
was.
They went to like India and had the guy rip the person's heart out.
Yeah, but the best what's up, Mixaplex? Yeah, the best movies were the Nazi ones, the first and the third, where you had raiders. The Nazis were in Egypt, and then the third with what's his name?
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Yeah, that was that kind of
true,
went
I
back to the
guess.
Nazis. That was always their best. That was kind of what made Indiana Jones was having that
Well,
Nazis,
there's so many
1930s connection.
franchises and things built off of demonizing Nazis. I mean, it's the safest pick. It's hard for anyone to really come back and like defend them. So
Yeah. Well, this Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, terrible name by the way. I you obviously know it's going to be about time travel just with that, and that's did we really want that with Indiana Jones? I don't know. I
I
guess
don't
that's
know.
a good
Work
way
for
to put
Harry
some
Potter.
de-aging. Yeah, but that was very minimal, even their time travel kind of
You
thing.
don't need de aging. Just get either get Shia LaBeouf to play the younger version or the Han Solo guy.
Oh yeah, get him. Actually, that's gonna come up. Yeah, um,
Oh, they're
I had a
making
clip
Han
right
Solo
about that.
too.
No, just I got some stuff about Han
They're making
Solo.
Deadpool 3. Might as well make.
Are you looking forward to watching a Han Solo movie as a fan?
Not really.
It's actually not a bad movie, by the way.
Doesn't he realize he's there to sell the shit?
I don't think he gives a shit, man. He's fucking Harrison Ford.
No, I know he doesn't
Like,
care. I'm talking about George.
he doesn't care either. He already sold the movie. He already sold the whole franchise to Disney. He doesn't give a shit.
Oh right,
They
yeah.
did-
It's hard for me to keep track of all that shit. I don't.
I
know
think
who
he
owns
was.
who. Do they still own Pixar? That's separate.
No, that's all owned by Disney as well. One's
Man, they're
owned
sick.
by George Lucas owned it first, and then it was owned by Apple, and then Apple sold it to Disney, and then that kind of influenced George Lucas to sell his stuff to Disney.
I can only
Disney
imagine
has
the
the money to buy it.
child sacrifices
Who has the
going
money?
on behind those Disney studios right now. Where they're probably knee deep in burger blood right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's you think about who actually has the money to buy these franchises, and there's only one company that really comes up, and it's Disney. They're the only ones who can
they're
afford to
really
buy the shit.
It's almost like the cartoon version of what's that shit? The Illuminati. You know, instead of like being some shadowy figure, it's just like a smiling mouse that's like this fucking distraction godhead figure.
Oh yeah,
It's weird
and
that we
actually,
don't make Mickey Mouse shit anymore. Like you don't.
no,
they don't
Mickey
make
Mouse is done.
movies.
Unless if you're at the park, then they fucking load you up with that shit. Mickey is on everything.
Like you'd think they would have some almost like Sonic the Hedgehog or Super Mario type thing going on with them, but they don't really seem to want to bother. No one
Yeah,
wants-
you would think he would
that
think he would
clean.
have like a 3D Pixar franchise, kind of like how Super Mario. Well, I always thought that about Super Mario, that they should always have this big Pixar, big, cartoon franchise. Now they finally do. It just took them fucking 20 years. But with
Well,
Mickey,
they needed a generation of people to either die off or forget about that horrible first movie.
yeah. Well, everyone loves the game, so you got a built-in
No, I know,
audience.
but it's not like they went from that John Leguizamo movie and then like a year later come out with something else.
Yeah, but Mickey, like when I went to Disney Resort, this was back, I don't know, years ago. But Mickey was on the radiator. He was on the headboard of your bed. He was on the fucking ceiling. There was a Mickey face everywhere. I almost thought that there would be like every grain of sand on the little Mickey beach would have his face imprinted on it. That's what I remember thinking. Like it's probably imprinted on everything.
Yeah, it feels like a form of like mind control or brainwashing.
Yeah, Mixoplex says Disney has enough characters to make a bunch of movies, and I would say definitely. And I actually kind of want to see a Luigi Haunted Mansion movie. I think that would actually be kind of cool. That
You
was
mean
always
animated?
Oh yeah. I mean, keep up with it. Keep up with the animated stuff. Use Charlie Day again, and have
They could
Luigi
do,
in a
I
Haunted
could see
Mansion.
like a Donkey Kong movie with Diddy Kong and what's the villain? That alligator guy?
Coop, what's Bowser?
Is it a reptile? Like
Yeah, it's
it is
Bowser.
a reptile. It's a crocodile or alligator guy, isn't it?
He's kind of like a turtle, like a dragon turtle.
I don't remember.
He's got a shell. All the Koopas are part of his team. He's got a shell. But it would be cool to see a Haunted Mansion movie, especially with Charlie Day. He was good in it. He was the best thing about that new movie, is what I thought, and he wasn't in it that much.
Yeah,
Jack
people I
Black.
saw it and they really liked it. They said there was this great sequence where Koopa sang a song about Princess Peach or something.
Well, Jack Black is Bowser, so that's probably the part he's talking about.
Yeah, Bowser. I always combine Bowser and Koopa together. Those two different things.
Oh well, no, he is a Koopa. He's the leader of the Koopa. But
what are the
we're going to
Koopas?
talk about
those like bird creatures from the Crystal Diamond or whatever.
That's Sketskis.
Yeah,
you're thinking of Sketskis from yeah. I have too much of this fantasy knowledge trapped in my head here.
I know. I mean, you
that's what's stuck in my head.
You better hope there's some kind of use for it other than,
Yeah, when like the end of the world comes and you have to explain to God what you did on this earth, and you have to talk about Sketskis and
versus
the Dark
Koopas.
Crystal.
Yeah, and the comparison contrast within their story arcs and appearances.
The difference, yeah, exactly.
I will let you in. That's a pretty interesting pitch.
Yeah, if I start talking about the Joseph Campbell faces of the hero, start talking about that, maybe they'd let me in. Remember the cool old in Dark Crystal? They're like those cool old people that were like dying off, and they were hunched over and shit.
I thought there was just the one who had no eyes.
No, there's like a couple of them. At least maybe in the show, there's a couple of them. I forget their race.
Yeah, I didn't.
I should remember that.
Oh no, I did. I feel like I saw.
The show was good, man. The show was really good.
Yeah, no, I remember. I think you shown it to me for like a few episodes or something, but I just remember the movie more. That's what kind of like scared the shit out of me.
But if we're gonna be talking about Indiana Jones, this is the most money they've ever spent on any Lucasfilms property, which is over 300 million. I'm hearing upwards of 400 million.
No?
No, this is just they've reshot it and all this bullshit.
Oh.
And I want to shout out to my Indiana Jones King of the Crystal Skull, King of the Crystal Skull cut here. You can search it on Reddit. Search the City of the Gods cut. I made this fan edit. You can always find this on Reddit. Hit me up if you want to talk. If you want to see the link. I think I made this good. I'm actually a fan of, having Shia LaBeouf in the movie. I think it's actually not a good idea that they didn't include him in the new movie. Maybe he didn't want to do it. Maybe he was doing some art installation. He could have been like hanging strings from like a rare bridge in the West Coast, in like San Francisco or Oakland or something. But this came out good for me. Going back to Indiana Jones, this is starting off with one of the worst scores ever for an Indiana Jones franchise. We're going to have to wait over a month for this tomato meter to pop up, but right now you'll see it's at 50%. That ain't good, especially in the day and age of the shill. We have these reviewers that just go to these events just to get the gift bag, just to be like, oh yeah, I loved the Eternals. I loved it. Mixaplex says maybe they'll spend that much money trying to actually invent the dial of destiny to rewind a time before they lost billions. Oh yeah. I mean, Disney is fucking hit hard. That's, every single part of this stream today is talking about Disney stuff. Somehow connected. Disney is fucking hit. I also start to wonder if it's like a scam. Like, are they trying to tank the stock on purpose because they know they're too big to fail? That, like, if we tank the stock for 2 years, all our investors can buy low, and then we can do what we should be doing, make a bunch of money back, and those investors make tons of fucking money. That's kind of what I start to wonder. It's like the producers where they're actually purposely trying to make something bad. I really, really wonder that. But yeah, starting off at 50% is pretty bad. And you're just gonna see the fan reaction to this has been bad. And just the people who have actually seen the movie. But this guy says this guy's Lao Kun of Troy. Oh boy, I'm not sure how many fans want to see Indiana Jones as a broken, helpless old man who cowers in the corner while patronizing his goddaughter to take lead. But that's what we're given. And it's as bleak as it sounds. Yeah, I mean, even the BBC here, like the mainstream media has not put good stuff onto this. That's a bad sign. They're the people who usually tout this shit just to fucking make money. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the last franchises to destroy. And yeah, like you said, I really have to say there's something to this that's nefarious where it's something about money and stock. But going back to that franchise, I've now started to realize, I mean, maybe it's just being older. You know, I'm what am I? Mid-30s, a little younger. But just realizing how I've seen every franchise get destroyed that I loved. You know, Star Wars. I mean, even I'm not a prequel fan, so I thought it got ruined then. I know there's a lot of prequel apologists who I look at them and I think like, are you guys fucking retarded? I mean, I guess when you see the sequels, you can like the prequels and the Clone Wars, but I don't know. That's not Star Wars to me. Star Wars is the original franchise. And then Lord of the Rings. Probably the best fucking series of all time has to get ruined by Amazon. I start to think that I'm living in a personal hell. Because then Star Trek, they come out with the Star Trek Discovery. It really is. Every franchise I've ever liked that's part of the nerd properties has gotten ruined. I've never been a huge Marvel fan, but I always liked Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, and I've watched from a distance, which is nice because I don't have as much attachment to the Marvel and the comic book stuff, and that has been fucking ruined. But yeah, it's true. The prequels look really good. It looks like George Lucas was way better than anything that Disney was doing. But you would think if you're going to do a whole Disney series, you'd come up with a plan for all three movies. Why would you make one movie different? Like why would you have three people a part of it that have no connection to the other two, and you don't show Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford and Chewbacca, Peter Mayhew, all in the same shot? Have the robots in there too. Have those droids. You know, the droids you're looking for. But every franchise has been destroyed. This is the next one. And I mean, it's already sort of been destroyed with the Crystal Skull. And that one is George Lucas. George Lucas is not that great. I think he's better when he like does the story. You know, the first Star Wars was good with him, but I think that kind of broke him. And then the second Star Wars, he stepped aside, and that was the best one, Empire. Same with Jedi has just got a bunch of Ewoks. It's okay. The first part of Jedi is great with the Jabba scene. The whole Jabba plot line was great. And then after that, that movie really dives. And then like Han Solo is just useless the whole movie. He kind of phones it in. That's why I've kind of what you hear about Han Solo and Harrison Ford, he's not a huge fan of the character.
Are you looking forward to watching a Han Solo movie as a fan?
Not really.
Yeah, he's not a fan.
Ever, give Jar Jar his leading role kind of spin-off Han Solo?
So what they did was they actually kind of and I do feel bad for the guy who played Jar Jar. There's a guy who played Jar Jar. His name
I thought he
is
was just some CGI shit.
No, Ahmed Best was the guy who kind of did the mocap. You know, kind of like the Andy Serkis.
What? It's just some asshole in a green suit. Nobody cares about him.
Well, everyone kind of hated how much shit he always got. So in the Mandalorian in the last season, they made him a Jedi who saves who saves the baby Yoda and all that shit. So they've kind of
How the fuck do
made him
people
have a
even know
part.
that? We never saw what he looked like.
I mean, you have to be in the know of Star Wars. You have to be in the trenches, man.
What the fuck? That is some unnecessary, stupid shit. You know, it's like I couldn't pick out even Andy Serkis from a fucking line of people, and he's like Gollum and fucking like 80 other people.
Oh yeah. And then the one thing with this Indiana Jones thing was people hate this Phoebe Waller-Bridge, this British chick who in the
Phoebe
trailer,
Bridgers? Oh, from
her name
Fleabag.
is
Yeah.
yeah, and like people have hated this trailer where this here part, you stole it, and then she stole it, but it's called capitalism because you got to get a jab at capitalism because this is woke Disney, who is a capitalistic fucking company. I don't think they realize that who's making the movie.
Yeah, but they know that most people won't even pick up on that, you know.
Yeah, and then in this new tweet with Indiana Jones, the official Indiana Jones Twitter, they did a new trailer and they got rid of that line. You'll notice they
And then I stole it.
they get rid of that line because they've seen the backlash on what's happened there. It sucks too, man. This is one of my favorite franchises. Even Temple of Doom I always liked just because maybe I was like a dumb kid.
Yeah,
But
no, I know.
great franchise.
I kind of like it more than you know.
Most things.
Well, no, I would say like as far as franchises go.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones, I'd say.
Terminator's decent until like the later stuff. Judge Dredd's. I gotta say, like Judge Dredd's a little underrated as a franchise because that newer one's actually really good, and I've went back and watched the original, and it's not good, but it's kind of like weird bad, and it's got almost like
They're
a
both
Waterworld
good,
type
man.
of vibe going on. And Diane Lane,
They're both pretty good.
Looks really hot.
The only thing that sucked was Sylvester Stallone didn't want to put on the helmet for Judge Dredd, but Kurt, what is his name? Something Irving.
Yeah, the guy
What's
from
Carl Urban,
Aragorn or
The
whatever.
Boys. Yeah, from The Boys and Lord of the Rings.
I thought he was the Rohan motherfucker.
Yeah, Eomir.
Yeah, Eomir.
Yeah, he was fucking awesome. He's awesome in that role.
Pretty good. I thought it was.
It's awesome. I would say it's great. It's by Alex Garland, who did Annihilation and a lot of good stuff. Ex Machina.
It didn't get much attention, but I've seen it a few times and I like it a lot. It's got an interesting villain too in Lena Headey.
Oh yeah, this is what makes he just ducks a bunch of bullets here. It's totally true. It's ridiculous. I guess this is a little forced homage to when the one guy is kind of whipping his sword around in Raiders, and he just whips out his gun and shoots him. I think that's the homage there.
Right. That's what. It's a callback.
Ah man,
right?
Raiders is so good. Oh yeah. Raiders is so. The only thing that does sound cool about this new movie is that they have Sala in it. You know, Gimli, Lord of the Rings guy. He's gonna be back in this for I think probably a scene. Something like that. Like what's his name? Rhys Davies. What's his name? On Rhys Davies. Yeah, he's great. Awesome actor. Dredd was really good. I actually it's one of those movies that it doesn't get talked enough about how awesome it is. It's a great little subplot too, just with the drugs and the slow motion stuff. It has a good
movie?
Dredd. Dredd was great.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, you're talking about the sequence where there's like this machine gun just drilling all these people's houses, and they're just like not even the person they're trying to kill. They're just like shooting up all these civilians up.
Yeah. And there is a little controversy with Dread. It is claimed by a lot of people to be a ripoff of the movie called The Raid because it's also like Dread, where it's in this big building where you have to go up floor
Oh
by
yeah,
floor by floor.
is that John Woo?
So
Chung Yao Fat's
it
in
could
it.
be, it could be
I've
John
seen
Woo
the
actually,
sequence from that.
which is
It's fucking
also a good
awesome, man.
movie.
It's like this.
Yeah,
It's him with a shotgun and this police officer going up elevator after elevator. Yeah, that sequence is really fucking amazing. Like I haven't seen the
it's
movie,
not John
but
Woo.
I've seen that.
It's Gareth Edwards, who's I want to say this guy has done Gareth Evans. He's done good stuff. He's done BHS, The Apostle. He's a decent filmmaker. I think he might have written good. He might have written Gangs of London. Yeah, he's a decent guy. But there's some truth to it being a little bit of a ripoff. But either way, I don't give a shit. It was a good movie, Dread. You know,
Yeah,
we're in the
say
day and
that
age
about
where we
ton
don't get a lot of good
stuff.
stuff.
You know, it's hard to not have influences. I mean, what are you gonna do?
So more Disney shit. Oh God, this is just the day and age we live in. Disney's losing money. They're losing money in multiple ways. They're down. It's kind of a big failure for Disney. Their stock is down, which I talked about before. I wonder if it's on purpose. But their streaming is down. Their park numbers are down. They lost 123 billion in the market value in 2022, and the shares dropped as 44%. The worst year since 1974. 1974, Disney. I think it's when someone took over. I think it's that might have been when the other Disney brother died. The brother of Walt. That could have been when he died. Who was the brother? I'm trying to think about it. What was his name? Roy Disney?
How much younger?
He was older, but yeah, he died in
Oh,
71.
shit.
Yeah, he was older.
He missed
He
out on all
outlived.
the money then. That sucks.
Yep. Nah, I don't think he missed out on the money. No, he did not. He took over. Like Walt never saw Disney World take off in Florida. He just started the planning, and Roy kind of saw it get done. Yeah.
Oh, Walt Disney died before his older brother?
Yeah, Walt Disney died for the older brother. Yep, and the older brother wasn't really in good
What
health
did Walt
either.
Disney die of? Do you know?
I think it was pancreatic cancer.
Mm.
One of those, like once you get it, you're kind of fucked. Kind of just, I do see that they're starting to work on. There's an RNA shot about that, like a preventative shot for pancreatic cancer, which is pretty awesome. But then, everyone who's going to hear RNA is going to freak out about the shot, about that vaccine. No one wants to take that Jackson. You can't say vaccine these days.
I don't. What's a Jackson?
I'm just going to call it a Jackson so then that doesn't get flagged. That kind of shit, man. You start talking about this shit, they turn your channel off.
Really?
Yeah. So Jack, no, all right. So Walt was a heavy smoker. He had lung cancer. All right, he's a lung cancer motherfucker.
Yeah, that's not
he smoked a
pancreatic.
pipe. Nah. I thought it was something kind of quick, but yeah, I guess he died from that. But we're seeing tons of market drop off for Walt Disney. There's been CEOs changing. We've had Bob Iger step up after. What's the other Bob? There's another Bob that worked there. Who was the main guy?
Egbert?
No, Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek worked at Disney. He was the main guy. And now they're also dealing with the lawsuit with Florida. Now they actually have to deal with the law of Florida, which is, I can't say I'm on one side or the other with DeSantis or not. I don't know the guy enough, but the fact that Disney could pay for whatever the fuck they wanted. They didn't have to get any planning commission. They didn't have to talk to the state because of their agreement in the 60s. They had some agreement with the Florida in the 60s. So now that's done. And Disney is saying, oh, because of DeSantis, it's costing us all these jobs. They're blaming it on DeSantis. It's more just their failure.
Who made that's a nice image. I like that.
Yeah, I saw this and I was like, that's good. You got DeSantis.
Looks
this might be our next president, by the way.
It looks like the Kremlin.
Yeah, I mean, this is Magic Kingdom right there. 50th anniversary. Because Disney World came out. What year was it? Gotta be like the 70s. Disney World started in 1971. So yeah, we're past 50. We're 51 right now. You ever been to Disney World? Have you been there?
Once, but I really don't remember much. I it's fucked up. I remember more of getting there than I do the actual trip. We took a train. I went with my mom or my family wasn't even there. I went with my mom's friend who was obsessed with Harry Potter. She actually has a tattoo, I think, of a like one of the Quidditch things.
Did she go to the Harry Potter?
She has a Lord of the Rings leaf or something like that tattoo too.
Do you think she went to the Harry Potter park in Universal? Probably since it's been open.
Maybe, I don't know. But we took a train, which was horrible. And at the time I was listening
all the way down.
I was listening on CD in my Discman to Incubus, and hot dog flavored water just came out from Limp Bizkit. That was the big release.
Oh shit! So we're talking like late 90s.
And the food that they gave us was it was like some weird undercooked chicken with a piece of pineapple and this red sauce all over everything. And I just looking at it, I wanted to vomit. I don't think I ate any of it. It was and there was rice underneath it, and I tried to just eat the rice, but it tasted like everything they put on top of it. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, dude. That must have been the summer of 2000. By the way, Dan Cast. I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks. What's up, Dan Cast? Thanks for coming out. Yeah, we're talking about Disney failures and layoffs. Yeah, I mean, I've been to Disney a few times. I've always enjoyed it. It's the most magical place in the world, right? It's where Disney Plus can shed 4 million subscribers in their Q2 of the year. They're like bleeding. They're bleeding out right now. Is what it seems like, and they've removed shows.
Are you happy about that, or?
I mean, I'm not happy about it.
You don't want.
I mean, I'll say this. I mean, who doesn't want something good to come out for the consumer? You know what I mean?
A sociopath.
Who doesn't? I guess so. It's like, to me, it's like I only want good stuff, but I'm gonna complain when there's not good stuff. But oh, Dan, interesting. And Dan Cass says, interesting. We're switching up the channel. Yeah, Dan Cass was here when we were playing World of Warcraft. Playing a lot of going back. Yeah, we're done with WoW. Our hands hurt. Like our hands hurt from playing World of Warcraft.
We'll eventually go back. It's just we'll mix it in.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
I mean, we put in a lot of work. Those characters have a ton of epics and shit. But it's like having a second job. You know what I mean? Like wowing is like, you know, you might as well be gold farming in China. You know? Yeah,
it's tough, man. It gets old after a while. Although it's a great game. It's one for the ages. I'll always have respect for Blizzard.
Mix, what do you think the next Disney reboot's going to be?
Yeah, we were talking about this. What's the next and in Dancast too? What's the next live action shit that they're gonna put out here?
I don't
But
think Dan
right
gives a
now,
shit about Disney. He just wants to watch us. Wow.
I don't know. He never wanted. He always kept. He always was one of those dudes trying to get us to do other shit, and I don't think he was wrong.
Well, like Raid.
Mixaplex. No. He wanted us to like talk about. I remember he wanted us to do the Amazon, Twitch, talk about movies and stream shit, which worked out pretty good. We did True Confessions. You can see that on our Twitch channel there. True Confessions, a brilliant movie. Brilliant movie by Shia LaBeouf.
I mean, I gotta say that movie sucks, but it's still like an entertaining watch. There's so many just ridiculous moments. A lot of like overacting, a lot of awkward writing. It's definitely worth checking it out.
Yeah, and Mixaplex says here, I'm happy about what they're reaping, what they sow. You know, they trash all these franchises, and this is exactly what you fucking get. But this is what I feel like when I watch True Confessions, then I love it.
I'm retarded?
I haven't played that one for a little bit.
Never forget they put Ringo up front for a reason.
Oh yeah.
Profile pic.
Yeah, that's a good one there, man. Some Todd Canopy shit.
But
yeah,
yeah, some of the screenshot.
But yeah, I mean, we're looking at Disney, so they've been doing so bad, they've actually removed some series. Some of these series have been okay. I mean, I've seen some of these. I like the Benedict, Mysterious Benedict Society. I thought it was actually an okay series.
The what?
The Mysterious Benedict Society. Did you watch that? Did anyone watch that?
I haven't heard about it until now.
I kind of liked it, but they've got rid of Willow. They got rid of the Mighty Ducks reboot.
What is that shit about?
Willow?
No, the Serious Benedict Society.
It was kind of like this kids series that had this Wes Anderson vibe to it and like a mystery thing. It wasn't a bad series. I'm a little shocked that they're quick to throw it out because it wasn't bad. At least the first season. Second,
probably.
I'm sure it wasn't. The second season really wasn't that good, but the first season was interesting. It was not a bad series for what it was. Mixaplex says, well, Marita from Brave has red hair, so I'm guessing that's a safe bet for a race swap live action remake. Yeah, you can always, any red haired person you can make into a black person these days. That's kind of the way it's gone with Disney.
What do you mean? Is this Little Mermaid? There's no.
Oh no,
natural
it's more than that,
man. Black. That's got to be a weave.
No, I'm gonna put this up
go
here.
To that? Where like
there's
they go over like her
no, this is true.
Reds and cornrows and stuff.
Hollywood was replacing
done because I remember she used to be really into spoons and stuff.
No, man, it's just happening. Hollywood is replacing every redhead with a black person. That's kind of what's just been happening. Like MJ is now Zendaya.
What's the connection?
These are all to replace.
Oh shit!
Because
Little Orphan Annie with Jamie Foxx as Daddy Warbucks.
Yep. Anyone that's a red-haired white person is
that is weird.
Yeah. I mean, who cares? It's true. That is true. I mean, I don't give a shit, but it is happening.
Who cares? Dan, I haven't slept the last 5 days knowing this information.
Yeah, we haven't slept. I mean, that what's her name from Scooby-Doo is now black. It's an issue, man.
I told you, Dan doesn't give a shit about this kind of stuff. He just wants us to fucking dominate people in battlegrounds.
Yeah, that could be the case.
Dan, I'm sorry, but I don't know the next time we're gonna WoW. Hopefully you like to hear about Disney every other week and their failures.
Yeah, because that's been happening a lot lately. I mean, you know what though? I feel like it's a bet. It's like if you could put money on if Disney will fuck up somehow this week, you're gonna win money every fucking week because they're
Well,
gonna
look
do
at this
something
right
stupid.
here. Breaking news: Walking Phoenix
Yeah, I mean,
and
this
Rooney
is
Mara are shut down.
this is the case, man. They're losing money. They really
Wait,
are, and
hold
I
on.
do.
Who's
Like I
that
said,
motherfucker on the right? Because he didn't even
I've
get
talked.
mentioned.
I talked about this before. Mixopolis kind of cut onto it, but I think there is something where they're trying to tank the stock on purpose so that they can create a low stock price so that investors can come in low. They can do what Disney does because they're too big to fail and they'll make money, do the right thing, and then all these people make tons of money. I kind of think that's the plan. I think it's a big
Speaking of
tanking period we're
reboots,
seeing.
where's
We've
the Do
seen
the Right
tanking
Thing reboot?
periods. We've seen tanking periods with Disney before too. It's
You know,
happened.
we got
It's
we
a
got a
big
White
thing.
Men Can't Jump reboot. Why not Do the Right Thing?
But they're starting to reduce their workforce by 7,000 employees, and then now there's been 4,000 employees, and it's a big issue for people actually in
Wow,
the
so they
area.
just fired thousands of people like nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's something that doesn't really hit you unless you're in the area. Like this is from Orlando. They're expected to be 2,500 layoffs.
I
These are
mean,
people
that's
that work in the
insane.
park.
That's like killing off half of the workforce in that state or the general vicinity of that area. Like that's a lot of people that are all going to be collecting unemployment right now. Get your taxes up.
I like this, Dan. Yeah, this is shit your grandpa would care about on Fox News. This is exactly we've turned the corner. But yeah, I like to make fun of it too because in the end it doesn't really matter. But
Dan, what do you
know,
want? What do you want us to do? Let us know, please.
yeah, let us know what you think we should do.
We're desperate
But
for content. We've been raping the corpse of Mickey Mouse for like 3 months
yeah,
now.
Mickey Mouse is basically his asshole is prolapsed at this point.
Oh my god.
Going
I've
back,
heard horror stories of like people who have put their anus up to a jacuzzi jet and it sucked their intestines out.
Yeah, it is true. It matters to Disney's bank account. Like they're really
It's funny, like Dan can't stand what we're doing, but Mixie's like cool with it. He's like all in. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I get it too. It's
That's what I'm saying. We need to change the channel
news.
name because I think gaming is still in it somehow. I think we need to just like disconnect completely from gaming.
No, we're just WizardShack now. That's why I did that.
No.
That's why we're called
on
WizardShack.
one thing, it must say WizardShack Gaming because we're still getting these gaming people who want us to stream Pokemon and like Zelda and shit we never played. I think we have one stream where you guys beat Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, that was fun.
Nintendo,
Super Nintendo,
I think.
SNES, yeah, on the SNES.
Yeah, that console is like no matter how old it is in relation to everything else, it's one of the best ever made.
Dancast
Mario All Stars in itself is one of the best games ever created.
Yeah, Dancast was saying an evil corporation act, the evil. Wow, shocker. I do agree, and it's funny watching. I'm not a political side, and I do see these people on a political side being like, "Oh, Target did this, so I'm gonna not go to Target, or I'm gonna drink Pepsi instead of Coke." But don't you think fucking Pepsi's as evil as fucking Coke? They're all fucking evil. They're all bad. I'm down for any of these companies to be taken down. Maybe that's also why we're talking about it, because in the end, I'd rather have independent media.
Because you watched us streaming WoW, and now we're kind of out of that. Like, what do you want to see from us to transition out of it? Do you want us to still talk about WoW?
Should we transition genders? We could transition genders too. That's part of the day and age, right?
All right, let's put a poll up. Can we get like a donate?
Yeah.
We'll get if we earn a
just go
certain amount
fund
of money.
us.
If you say you raise like $50,000 for us to get surgery, we will transition.
Yeah, we'll cut off everything that's possible there. It's a price. It's like
No, just
the $1 Million Man said.
And like double D's, so I'm set to go.
Yeah, it's like his name? The WWE guy, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Everyone's got a price, right? That's but Mixwith says it doesn't bother me. It's interesting to watch it all go down, and it is true. It's like I don't disagree. It's seeing like a big company like this fail is not bad to see. You know,
Well, I don't have any Disney stock, so
I actually do have
Mine's
some
a
Disney
shit.
stock, so
I feel bad for the assholes who had it, like, however long ago and sold it just to see it go nuclear. I don't know how, like, there should be like a division of people just for, you know, poor
yeah. I
assholes
mean,
who like lost out on millions of dollars because they sold the stock after like 2 weeks of it looking bad.
yeah. I mean, Dan, I don't want to listen to my grandpa uncle talk about woke shit. I do agree. I understand what you're saying with that, but then there are people like when you read this article, and I was reading it, and it's from this is from Orlando, their newspaper.
Hold on,
When you
Dan.
have 2,500
Dan, who's the
people,
grandpa and who's the uncle?
yeah, I would say I'm more of the who's the uncle? I feel like we both feel like uncles.
No,
I hope we both feel like uncles.
Clearly, there's a grandpa to uncle vibe, and I need to know where I stand.
But it does suck to see people in Florida losing their job. I don't like to see that. And the the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser that just stopped. Which,
Whatever.
like,
They'll buy a
if you look at
camper and cook up some meth. I'm not worried about them.
uncles, yeah, I guess that's the thing. We're grand uncles. It's kind of like the
Dunkles?
uncle in
Dan,
it's kind of like the
you
uncle
can't
in
just put that out there and not specify who is the grandpa and who's the uncle.
Oh man, that makes me think of that show with the Mystery Shack. What's that show? Fuck, what is that show? Gravity Falls. That's a great show, man. It makes me think of Grunkle something. Grunkle Stan. That makes me think. That's Leon. You should watch Gravity Falls. That's a great show. We'll get ready for
Dan,
more Disney stuff.
Dan, are we getting too political for you? Should we try and balance it out? Talk about how Mrs. Potato Head has a cock now.
Yeah, I guess that's political as well. Marvel announced the death of Miss Marvel. This is the Islamic character from New Jersey, from our home state. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, no, a gunkle does sound almost like a cankle, and I've seen some.
Yeah.
I've seen some hard cankles in my life. Cankles are disturbing.
Yeah, they killed off this character just because they're gonna bring her back because it's Marvel, that kind of thing. Killed off
But
another
Dan,
hero
like,
here.
you haven't said anything on like what you want to see. You just keep criticizing. Like give us some suggestions of what you're looking for here.
It's true. I mean, some John Lovitz clips, stuff like that. Maybe Rob Snyder memes. I don't know what you're looking for.
Well,
is anyone
one
looking
of the
for
most
Rob
iconic
Snyder?
John Lovitz clips is from Wedding Singer, where he's having a mental breakdown, and then John Lovitz is outside the stage behind the curtain and says, I don't want to give it away, but if you have an internet connection, you know what I'm talking about.
Miss Marvel has had some interesting backlash to this character being dead.
Who's Miss
Let
Marvel?
me show off. Miss Marvel is a character she's a new character. She's Miss Marvel. She's going to be in the Marvels. She has a TV show. You don't know Miss Marvel?
It looks like Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, in Marvel, no one dies for long unless you're Uncle Ben, because then you're dead for fucking life. Then you're dead. If you're Uncle Ben,
the nice
you're dead
thing about
forever.
having built up all these alternate universes and all that kind of shit. Even if people die, you can bring them back over and over and over.
Not Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben is dead in every universe. Yeah, that's the funny thing. She didn't die in her own comic. They had to kill her off in Spider-Man because her comic isn't big enough. You had to kill her off in Spider-Man, a comic that was actually popular. Let me show you some of the tweets. The backlash. This is the backlash to Miss Marvel being killed off. That's the thing. Is like you can talk about, you can say a lot of this stuff.
Who the fuck is who? Is Spider-Man just crying, or that's the part they're playing? I'm confused on the.
Spider-Man is crying because of Miss Marvel, but
okay.
You see some of these quotes
Captain
here.
America.
Some of these. Well, it's been spoiled. I'm going to talk about it. It's comics, so characters die and come back, but there's a diversity rule that's been broken. When you only have one, you treat that one with care because that one unfortunately represents all. I am so pissed. You're just going to kill her off and resurrect her as a mutant to make her powers those of the MCU. I hate this so much. Her current human powers are so much more better than the MCU ones. They're ruining my favorite character.
Yeah. I mean, Dan, where you at? You've been silent reading this.
Little Boosie man says, "Why the little brown girl had to die?"
In your next franchise?
Why the little brown girl have to die off? Right? Defy says they're always killing the fucking Pakistanis, bro. We never get anything.
I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to go there, but Pakistani or not, they get lumped in like a mother.
They get lumped in, man, with Indians. It's true.
You don't care about randoms on Twitter?
Yeah, but when you have them collected in this form, it's funny. Come on.
Dang,
I got them collected
here. If you're not
here.
a random on Twitter, care about randoms on Twitter. Why you on Twitter? It's the whole point.
Right. I mean, who's not?
Log off.
Denzo. What about Denzo Menzo on Twitter? Stupid American entertainment and their obsession with death.
I'll be right.
Almost cams. They remembered I don't read the comics anymore. Yeah, I mean, I've never read Miss Marvel. I didn't watch her show. It was one of the lowest rated shows that Disney had. That's another one. They won't cancel that one. We saw Willow get canceled. They're not going to cancel anything MCU. I think they have too much money in that. And you know what? I don't blame them. When you made the investment, you gotta stay true. This one says this is racist, Islamophobic. So many characters die in these superhero things. They're gonna bring it back, whatever. Even if they don't. Is it racist to kill off a character? I guess just because they're a minority, like. And this one, it's funny how insults and comic haters scream that Marvel's too woke when over the last summer they canceled Ironheart, buried characters like Domino. Yeah, I mean that's the truth. They're gonna cancel certain characters. They're gonna kill off characters just for dramatic effect. Yeah, and I mean they do go where the money is. If pandering doesn't work, they dump it, and that's actually kind of what we're talking about here. I know this sounds like Fox News, but we're talking about. They're not making money. When does it get to a point where they're like, all right, we have to stop this shit? I even hear about, there's a lot of people that are whatever labeled Gen Z or whatever who are labeled as being an open type people who are sick of this shit. They know what's happening. They know like, okay, they're putting a black Little Mermaid in just to pander. There's. And exactly, this is what's happening. It's pandering, and it's not working. So when did they realize we have to change things up? Is it just that they're going to go with the Hollywood narrative, which is to do this kind of thing, or are they going to go with what people actually kind of want? That's another thing. It's offensive how, I think a lot of Hollywood looks over at most of America as the flyover states, in quotes. If you're not in LA, if you're not in Hollywood, they don't really give a shit about you. And I mean, is that right? Yeah, I wouldn't say it's racist to cast POCs actors like color. I just don't think you need to. I don't think you need to force it in, and I think it really should just be whoever's the best cast. I mean, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and the villain was, a black guy, and he was really good. And I don't give a shit. It's the same thing. It's like I can relate I can relate to anyone. I mean, actually, Guardians of the Galaxy is a good example. I relate to the fucking raccoon, who's not even a fucking same species as me. I can relate to him. I don't give a shit what color you are. But if you're gonna force it in, it doesn't really work. It should be organic. And I will say this: I haven't seen The Little Mermaid, so who knows? Maybe this is the best movie of the world, and I would relate to Ariel as a black character or not even notice it. I mean, I don't care. It's just I think everyone knows kind of the pandering what they're trying to do. But and I even have I've talked to black people about this, where they think, it's racist to assume that I need a black actor to relate to. Like I can relate to Neo, I can relate to Frodo, I can relate to any white character. The fact that you have to think I need a black character in Lord of the Rings to make me feel represented is just ridiculous. Like I said, I can relate to a fucking raccoon. I don't give a shit what it is, as long as the character is good. Let's go to like Creed. I can relate to Michael B. Jordan and that character. Let's go to Hurricane. Let's go to Denzel Washington. I can relate to his plight being a prisoner. I don't think it has anything to do with the race. I think it's when you try to force it in. That's what I think is happening, is the forcing. It should really be about people of talent, not people of color. I think I made a very good point there. I'm not a fan of this. I'll admit I don't know the story around it, but killing such a popular character in young lady of color feels very not good. I mean, I understand. What is forcing it? I think forcing it goes to a few things. I think there's a Cleopatra Netflix series where they're making her black, where historically she's actually a Greek. She's Macedonian, Cleopatra.
Yeah, but
she's a Greek motherfucker.
I work with.
That's forcing it.
She's being perceived darker. Like they want.
Yeah,
they want
that's
to be.
That's not accurate though. That's also part of like, I mean, I know Egypt is really up in arms about this because there's historical accuracy. Like she was a Macedonian white person, a fucking European, Mediterranean person, maybe a little tanner, but I don't think she was a sub-Saharan type person. It's not gonna happen. This is not realistic. I mean, there definitely were pharaohs that probably were sub-Saharan or descent of that, but that's not who she was. We have evidence about that.
Depictions of her as far as like art and stuff,
I mean,
because a lot of times that's the only thing you have to go off.
She would have looked like kind of how they've done her in. I mean, I guess I'll show it. Like she kind of would have looked how she would have looked in some of her sculptures. She would have looked very Mediterranean, kind of Italian looking. That's what she did look like. I don't think Elizabeth. I know they say Elizabeth Taylor is way off, but she's probably more accurate than they think.
She's got my nose. I feel bad for this bitch.
Yeah, I mean, no. We did, by the way, Dancast, we did a whole stream about the whitewashing of Prince of Persia. We were bent out of shape at that, so you can go back. We watched the whole movie.
The movie was fucking.
Well, we thought it was ridiculous.
One of the worst slogs I've ever experienced in my life. There were times where we said to each other, like, I feel like I'm going through the same time right now. Like,
yeah, I mean, the movie was awful, but no, I mean, we did talk. If you watch that, if you listen to that commentary, we talk about it. We talk about the whitewashing of it for sure. I mean, also there's that. Remember that Asian movie where Mark Wahlberg is in the Wall of China? Adrian Brody. Remember that?
Dragon.
What was that movie? Dragon Sword, Dragon Blade. I mean, there's some serious whitewashing on it. I'm not for that either.
Yeah, and I've never been bent out of shape in my fucking life. Like, I don't know what you mean by that. I'm so dead inside. There's nothing impactful enough.
Yeah, there's nothing to be bent out of shape
for me to care about.
Yeah. This is some truth right there.
I haven't cried since I was born. You know,
I haven't cried since
my
Miss
tear
Marvel.
ducts I had surgically removed.
I haven't cried since Miss Marvel. That sounds like a you problem, bud. Yeah.
Well, you're
No,
making
that
it
does.
us. It was you, but now it's us.
Yeah, it's an us now. No, but that movie was really bad. And I'm not really into whitewashing either. I'm not into, but you know what? Same time, I'm not into blackwashing either. I can be both. I can pick both sides of that.
I can do a
I'm
beige
all for,
washing.
and you know what? Like we're gonna talk about the Little Mermaid stuff next, and because it is coming out this weekend, it's Memorial Weekend. They got to get that money in. But I am for someone who's the best actor to play the part. So maybe Disney cast this and it was like, all right, this person is the best. This is the best actor for the part, and that maybe that's who Haley Berry was. And I do feel bad for her because I think she's getting a lot of bullshit.
Halle Bailey.
There, Halle Bailey. Jesus, she needs to change her name. That's one thing she should have done when she got to Hollywood.
It's like Cleveland going from the Indians to Guardians. You know, you're gonna slip up.
Yeah, I mean, she's gotten a lot of bullshit for playing this role, and I don't know. Maybe she is excellent at it.
Well, wait, how did this Flash motherfucker get away with that shit? Like, he's good to go for this movie.
How did he get away with that? Yep. I mean, look at Jonathan Majors. He can just strangle one girl, right? He only strangled one person, right? How many people do you have to strangle to get canceled? I guess it's one.
Well, he wasn't a part of a franchise, though. So
Ezra Miller can kidnap people.
Fuck about the Ant-Man villain.
I mean, for Ezra Miller, you can kidnap whoever you want. You can kidnap. You can, get them to do drugs in front of your compound, all that kind of thing. But you strangle one bitch, you're out. But Little Mermaid, the critics are sharing some strong reactions to this movie. I've actually heard through the grapevine that this movie's not bad. It might be one of their better live actions.
I gotta say,
so that's something I'll put out there. I've heard
should have
decent
been
stuff.
A black woman.
Yeah, allegedly, Jonathan Majors did
Am I
the
the
shit.
first person to say that?
I do feel bad for him for that. He's a good actor for what he is. What are you saying?
Ursula
is Melissa McCarthy. Well, it's got to be. It's. I don't know. That kind of fits.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, because you want to demonize the fat white woman.
Yeah, and I know there's a rap with Aquafina rapping, and I've heard really bad. I've heard that the score of this is really bad. I've heard this is going to be a point of content is the soundtrack and the songs, and also, I mean, if you've seen the trailer for The Little Mermaid, it has a very murky, kind of dull look to it. When if you watch the old animated movie, like most Disney, it's really bright, colorful, kind of fun. There's a really muted, dull Game of Thrones look to this new movie, which is a weird vibe for what they're trying to do.
Dan, do you think Disney will ever reboot Song of the South live action?
Yeah, do you know about Song of the South? Is there a bluebird on your shoulder?
Maybe Denzel doing a musical.
Yeah, no, it's a cartoon, but you can have a movie that's bright, colorful. You don't have to have something that's murky.
My guy. I don't know that connotation.
I'll talk about this. I mean, it's not a good movie, but think of the Batman movies.
Next time you say "my guy" to me, Dan, put it in parentheses.
Think of the Batman movies with Mr. Frost. What's that? Batman and Robin. That was a very bright, colorful movie. Not a good movie, but based on a cartoon with Batman and comics, and so you can do a bright, colorful movie. Even Guardians of the Galaxy has a brightness to it. Even I would say the Avengers has a brightness to it. When you look at Superman, like Superman had this big murky vibe to it. The Snyder movies, They had this big murky vibe.
It's gray as
Yeah, it
fuck.
had like a murky,
gray.
terrible vibe. This is almost
gray. Everyone's wearing gray shit. The plot's gray.
Yeah, this is almost the same thing that's happening with Little Mermaid. It's like they've made it look like Man of Steel. This is Man of Steel, Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. That's when I saw it, I was like, that's what it reminds me of.
No,
yeah, I mean, they're not gonna stop with live action stuff because they have no original content.
Yeah, they're gonna milk that shit until they're completely drained it, and then they'll go back to like horrible new releases.
It looks super muddy
right now. They know they have nothing good to like. They like there's no writers going on right now. They're not depending on new ideas. They're just gonna mine the shit
they don't have it.
Every fucking franchise that ever had, and just skull fuck that corpse until everything oozes out of it. You know.
Yeah, and even if you're gonna talk about just original content, even going back to the original stuff, like Cinderella is a grim fairy tale story. You know, most of their things go back to content, or that's Hans Christian Andersen for Little Mermaid. Like most of their things is actually stories that have been told before that they just kind of got the rights to. So they don't really make much original content. And I know you say, you know, with Pixar does do good stuff. Pixar was kind of the better division, and now they've kind of bleeded into Disney. So they've kind of got the Disney vibe rubbed off onto them. Yeah, I mean, AI, I've seen some interesting trailers. Have you seen the Wes Anderson trailers with AI? I kind of get uncomfortable watching them. I think they're not that good.
Over animation? Like, what do you mean? Animation's fucking dead. Shit's been dead. Like,
no, but AI is
archaic,
close, man.
And computer shit is just a fucking means to the end.
You're gonna be able to type into like I don't know, like an AI platform where you say, "Show me Fraggle Rock talking about the Illuminati takeover of the United States government," and they'll show you a whole episode on it. That's gonna happen in 10 years, and it'll be an exact Fraggle Rock episode. They shot it during the pandemic, so it sucks. Yeah, that probably is the case. I mean, they also shot it on that Mandalorian thing where I forget what they call it. You're basically behind this green screen that's real, and it just kind of feels fake. Yeah, my job is toast too. I do graphic design, so that's only a couple of probably a year or two off before you can do all my shit without me being there.
Well, you know what's gonna suck is like once Skynet takes over, we can't really revolt and fight them because they're all mechanized, and they'll just have like drones with submachine guns that just destroy us.
Oh yeah, so with the Little Mermaid, you know, they're pretty in China, they're pretty keen to, they don't like a lot of black people on their posters. This is not new news. You know, so this has happened before. It's as offensive as that sounds, and I definitely agree it is.
But she's not ambiguous enough.
They've really hyped up the blue in this photo. It's actually different in the United States, but she almost looks like blue. You can't really tell her race in this photo.
I thought she
That's
was
kind of what China's been going with.
Ambiguous enough where they could maybe just be confused enough to not care.
I mean, a little bit. She is, but you know, I've seen people
what are your
talk
thoughts,
about.
Dan? Weigh in.
I think
please.
I think they're trying to do something. There's history of this. We'll get into it, but the quartering here says they made Black Little Mermaid white/blue for China because they don't want to put this on their cover. The Chinese are actually pretty racist. This is kind of a true thing. This isn't. It's not like America. They actually are.
Are you shocked? Yeah. Shocked face over and over and over.
Yeah,
and over
shocked face.
What? They want to kill half their population? No way.
What? Yeah. I mean, all right. So let's go into this. Let's go into this here. This is. Let's take take a look at this. Look at this.
I have not heard that term before. Have you?
Look at this Force Awakened. Look at this Force Awakened poster. And actually, hold on.
As Han's story came to an end in Force Awakens, how did you feel about the ending? Did you feel good about the ending? Do you like the way his story ended up? Did Did you see that as Han's ending?
But yeah, take a look at this poster here. You see this?
China is VV colorist.
I don't really get that comment.
Can you please
Explain.
expand, Dan?
Explain on that.
Dan.
He's too old. He doesn't know what's going on. No, I think he doesn't care. I think Harrison Ford has never cared.
We could play fucking Alzheimer's from months on end if we wanted to.
I think he's thinking about fucking Callista Flask. Was it Flockhart? I think he's thinking about fucking her later.
Ally McBeal.
Yeah, he's thinking about fucking Ally McBeal. That's what's his main goal. But all right, so take a look at this. Take a look at this photo.
I feel like he'd get more enjoyment after she's dead, and he could just pile that shit up in a funeral pyre.
Take a look at that photo there. Breathe that in. Let's look at this in. You got a big fin. You got a big
suck it in, Dan.
Suck that in.
Long draft, Dan.
Let's look at what they did in the Chinese poster. Do you notice anything different about that Chinese poster? Do you notice who they might have
blue
removed?
on the right? I see a lot of red on the left.
Do you notice that they might have made the black guy really small and like not in the poster?
Dan. Hip priest.
I could be drunk. There could be some whiskey going on in this. There could be some whiskey going on. I think both of us have got some alcohol in us.
No, I haven't even started. But
do you see John Boyega?
Feedback.
Look how small they made John Boyega in this. Do you see that? Do you see that? Look at the poster before. This is like back and to the left. This is like JFK. Now watch this. You see the American version? The American version where and then watch the Chinese version. American version.
The bottom half.
Chinese version. Look at John Boyega.
Watch
that.
Like some fucking 1984 weird.
Let's just get rid of the black guy. Let's basically get rid of the black guy and put him at the bottom.
No, it's not even that. They cut off the multitudes of clones on the bottom.
Yeah, a little bit. They added more spaceship stuff.
What do you mean, little bit? Look at that shit. There's like thousands of clones on the bottom, and then now they're just shadows.
I think you might be missing out on. Check this part of it out. See this part of the screen? You got John Boyega.
I don't care about that. Look at the bottom.
And then look at that. Look at this.
It's multitudes of clones, and then just like a shadowed version.
Yeah, I mean they don't treat people well over there in China. That's one thing I think that shouldn't be political on either side is fuck China and fuck Disney for
the tank. You willing?
I mean, look at. I think that's part of my point here is how Disney will be the most woke motherfuckers when they have to here in the United States, but then in China, they're gonna make John Boyega fucking tiny in the background, or they're gonna make the Little Mermaid look blue or white just to kind of sell it. When over here it's a triumph that it's a black Little Mermaid. You know, like that's my problem with them. And then also, I mean, here's another example of China and their China. Here's another example of the poster they had for America. We had Chadman Bozic, I think his name is, right here in the foreground showing his face. But in China, they wanted to put the mask over him. I mean, that's a little fucked up. It's just crazy, you know. And also, this is a movie that didn't do exactly very well. The Marvel stuff doesn't do really well over there. Neither does what's allegedly going to happen with Little Mermaid. You know, they have pre-sale stuff going on. They've only sold about 13,000 in pre-sales, which is fucking terrible. This probably won't do super well over there. Not that it really matters because this is a movie that's going to do well here. I think you have enough little kids that are going to go see this movie. Let me look at the box office here. There's projections. There's some projections. I could talk about projections. I like this kind of stuff. I always look at the numbers of these things. These are the long range forecasts for this. Little Mermaid is set to open the 3-day about like 112.90 million, which is pretty good. It's probably
But
going to
look at the
make around.
competition. About
No,
like
there's
an
no
Onward,
competition.
which is
There's
that
no
shitty
competition.
Italian comic with his like first one-off written probably film, and then The Machine, which is that stand-up comedian who's fat with no shirt on.
No, we got our tickets. We were talking about this. You already have your tickets, right? You got your pre-sale tickets. Are you going to go to
What?
Shanghai to watch this movie just to get that $13,000 up? I got my tickets for Augie and the Cockroaches. That's the movie I wanted to see. No, there's a lot of there's not a lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to seeing. I would probably see Asteroid City. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters. It's the new Wes Anderson movie. The Flash, I've heard, is okay. But I want to see. I was talking about this. I want to see Indiana Jones, but I don't think I'm going to give my money to Disney. I'm going to go. I'll pay for another movie that's out, and then just go sneak into the theater. That's my plan. That's
What's
my
Asteroid
passive aggressive
City?
plan. Asteroid City is the new Wes Anderson movie. So if you can think of a Wes Anderson movie, just duplicate that in your head, and you got the trailer. That's basically it.
It's in space.
No, I think it's in like New Mexico.
Because
It's not a very
I've been
exciting
wanting
trailer.
Quentin Tarantino to make a space movie.
He's not. His last movie is going to be about a critic in the 70s. It's going to be about a critic, kind of like The Critic.
With John Lovitz.
You're seeing some Japanese movie next week. What are you seeing? I'm actually kind of curious about that. What Japanese movie is out?
It's probably that
mean-
new Disney Plus re-release of Everything All at Once. Everything all the time, constantly happening all at once. That new reboot with Michelle.
I mean, there are
Yang
some
and
good.
Short Round and
I want to see the new
Purple.
Miyazaki movie when that comes out, but it's not going to have any English casting, and they always do a good job with the English casting. So I kind of wait for that. I mean, you have like Christian Bale in one of the parts for Howl's Moving Castle.
Dan, you seem to be pretty invested in film for a wower.
I don't think he was a wower. I think he was once a wower.
Oh, you said that he was from when we were streaming World of Warcraft.
No, he was, but I don't know if he was actually into it. I think he was watching it. You're going to Alamo Draft House. Are you going in? You're going Yonkers. I went to the one in Brooklyn. I love Alamo Draft House. That's a great franchise. A really cool
Is it
franchise.
a chain?
It is a chain. They're from Alamo, from Texas, but they have some in some cities. They have some in Brooklyn. I guess they have it in Yonkers
Damn.
too. There's a bar, like you can drink and get food while you're watching. It's like good food too.
Yeah, that's a pretty wide range of distribution.
Yeah, I mean, like Alamo Draft House in Brooklyn had some cool shit. I forget what movie we saw there. We saw a good movie. Me, Doug, and Dave. When we visited Dave when he was living in Queens. I gotta see what they're playing in New York City. Yeah, Yonkers does suck. That's a shitty spot to go to. It's not an easy spot to get to. Is what I remember about that. It's just kind of, you have to go through New York to get there. It's a pain in the ass. It's like going to Long Island. It's like that's like
You gotta go over a bridge or you go in the tunnel.
I'd rather I'd rather die than go through Long Island. Yeah,
Have you heard of bridge and tunnel people?
no.
You never heard that term?
I,
'Cause
I
that's
mean,
what
I
we
guess
are.
yeah, I guess I have. Yeah, I guess that's what we'd
Bridge
be.
and tunnel people are just suburbanites that travel into the city to see like a show or something. And
I
apparently,
like
most
it is a good
performers despise
it
them.
is a good theater experience, but there's also one called Nighthawk Cinema in Brooklyn as well, and that one's also comparable to Alamo Drafthouse. It's kind of like the same thing. It's got a bar, it's got all this good stuff. They're playing Beau is Afraid, which is supposed to be shit, you know, that kind of thing. But they have food, they have beer, they have like booze. It's a good time. I like the idea of that. Yeah, it's Hoboken, is Brooklyn, is that kind of thing.
I used to think it was Hobacon.
Hoboken.
I don't know. I feel like I thought it was like a Mortal Kombat character.
No, but definitely, I have to say, if you're around an area that has an Alamo Draft House, go check it out. I can only speak good things about it. And the same with Nighthawk Cinema. It's cool shit. Alamo. They also like. I remember the food was really good. It was really expensive, but really good.
Well, do you get what you pay for, or it's just bloated?
No, it was you get what you pay for, but it's it's New York City prices, so you're gonna spend a lot.
Yeah, it's inflated naturally, but is it worth it?
Probably not. Cool thing about the cool thing about it was you had like before the movie started. There's a bar. There's a bar outside the theater, so you can go into the bar and kind of hang out in the bar before the movie starts. It's like almost more of a bar and a movie theater together. It's a cool concept. It's like I'm all for doing something like that.
It's a Bartholomew.
Yeah, it's like a Bartholomew, yeah. And it's like, I would say this though. Sometimes some of the food is a little bit weird to eat. Like they had good popcorn, but you're gonna get like avocado hummus kind of bullshit because you're in Brooklyn.
How do you
That
fuck
kind
up
of crap.
popcorn?
No, their popcorn was really good. It was very good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you fuck up popcorn?
I don't think you can fuck up popcorn.
You've had that popcorn before that's in like a
I
silver
remember
plate that expands into a bubble.
You can fuck up popcorn by burning it. If you burn popcorn, that fucks it up. I can say that. That's a good save all your carbs for the movie and you go in to get some popcorn. That's a good carb time to have.
Have you ever done
But you
the
could but I'm looking at this. They got
popcorn
tacos.
combination?
What kind of Oh yeah, I've done it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they
'Cause
got
I've heard
tacos
it's
here.
really good,
They got
but I've never tried it.
Jiffy Pop is good. I've had Jiffy Pop at home. But they got tacos, they got cheeseburgers, that kind of shit. It's all expensive. You got a $7 shake. You can get a chocolate shake for $7. More than fucking they spent in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, and like wings is a good price. No. Definitely agreed. Popcorn is a gigantic scam. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy. My movie ticket was cheap because I got it late. It was like
Wait,
a
what the
$9.50
fuck?
movie.
Since when did they start selling wings in movie theaters?
That's at Alamo Draft House because they have like a lot of good. It's like a bar. It's like they have bar food at this movie. But I went and saw Guardians, and the movie was only $8. But to get a popcorn was $6.50, and then to get a drink was $6.25. So I ended up spending like $13-14 for the fucking food, and the movie was only $10. So I spent more for the food. Yeah, every movie theater does that. They know they can make money off that. But I'm saying, when you go see a movie, buy a ticket for something else, and don't give the money to Disney. Give the money to that Japanese animation movie. That's what you want to do. Give the money to Sisu. That kind of thing. Don't give it to Marvel. Don't give it to Disney. And then just sneak in. I've learned that if you go late at night, if you go to like a 9:50 showing, like a 10 o'clock showing, no one's fucking there. Unless it's Yonkers or New York City where there's just too many people. But in New Jersey, in the middle of New Jersey, you go at like 10 o'clock, no one's fucking there. You get like 3 people there. Opening night.
Empty bowling alley.
Yeah, it's honestly, it made me realize like I got to do this more often. Like go to these opening nights really late, and that's the way to do it. I'm probably gonna see Indiana Jones. Maybe I'll. I don't think I'll see Little Mermaid. I have no skin in the game for that. My skin's too white for that, right? I'm not under the sea enough. I wonder if they do that song. I guess they probably do that song. But that about covers it, man. You've heard us complain, Dan Cass, the whole time. Complained about Indiana Jones. We complained about the Disney layoffs. Miss Marvel being killed off, which I'm cool with. But it's interesting that they're killing her off when she's actually has a movie coming out in the summer. So that's kind of weird. We talked about Little Mermaid poster controversy with China. And then I showed some good clips, but in the end I do feel a little bit retarded. Maybe that's the booze.
I'm retarded?
That's how I look when I look in
This
the
makes
mirror.
me want to get a full Biden mirror on my closet.
You don't have that?
Go out and find one.
Popcorn is for creeps. Eat some real food. Weird. I like that. No, but dude, popcorn. I mean, at the time,
snack, asshole. Like,
dude, popcorn's good, man. I mean, at the time, I was like waiting because I was doing like really low carb stuff, so I was like really waiting to have popcorn. I hadn't gone to the movies in 3 years, so I was like, I'm gonna go to a movie and get popcorn.
Unless you're an idiot, you know popcorn is a snack. I mean,
Popcorn's good.
It's like eating air. It's like cotton candy.
But maybe Dan Cass is right. We're just grunkles, and that's just our opinion. This is the grunkle opinion that we like popcorn. Maybe that's part of it. You know what I mean? That could be that. But yeah, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. We're not on there. You could look for us on there, but we're not. You can follow us on
outside your house.
Yeah, you can follow us around supermarket. Creep on us behind, look behind the produce section. We'll probably be there.
Dan, I'm gonna burn
Grunkle.
your garage down, so make sure you have a fire extinguisher available.
Yeah, get it right. I like saying grunkle because I think of Gravity Falls. There's a Grunkle Stan character that's great. The summertime always makes me think of Gravity Falls. So check out Gravity Falls. Yeah, he also says, John Lovis, you look great.
Thanks. I just got some Botox done. My chin was looking a little loose, but
yes,
I got 5 injections last week, so I'm hoping to tighten it up. If it doesn't take, I'm gonna have to go to a different provider.
And you got that blue blazer. That blue blazer looks good too. Well, yeah, we both had that Ozempic swag. We're actually injecting Ozempic daily, and realize that Ozempic isn't injectable. You got to fucking shoot that shit up.
Yeah,
that ain't taking a pill.
I'm lucky enough to have an adrenochrome provider who can splice in a little bit.
Yeah, you know that Satan freak, right? We have a few Satan freaks we know, so you can always get that adrenochrome. That was always good about Fear and Loathing, where he talks about he knows a Satan freak where he can get the adrenochrome. Some straight up connection to that. That's where the conspiracy nuts took off from that shit. They took it off from there. All right, but I think that covers everything. We're gonna head out. I gotta head out. I gotta go to sleep. It's 10:24 here, and I'm an old person. I'm a gunkle. So thanks for joining everybody. Dancast, Mixaplex. It's cool to have people here. I definitely want to check out Alamo Draft House. It's been a very long time. I wish there was one in New Jersey. In like real New Jersey, not like Hoboken. I'm talking the Senate of the state where all the people look ugly. All right, see you guys.